I'm Giovanni Gone, and welcome to Comunidades on KDGL and KSNN Channel 23. Today's guest is Virgil George, Realtor from Rocky X Land Company. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Giovanni.
How are you doing?
Doing very well. I appreciate the invite to come on board and visit with you a little bit.
Well, thank you for being here today. Virgil, why don't we get started with a little bit of an introduction?
Okay. So I am from Eastern Colorado originally. We have a company in Burlington, Colorado. I was licensed in 2000 and I've been in the business for just a little bit over 20 years now. We've got 14 agents total in between the two stores in Burlington and in Garden City, Kansas. And we specialize primarily in agriculture, residential, and commercial. By far, agriculture is our top priority, and then residential, because we have so much populace in Garden City, has been a really nice fit for the company.
Now, Virgil, we were talking about your experience, your years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
So when I first got licensed, I was working underneath another agent, and then in 2005, I opened up my own company, and then 2012, I acquired my ALC designation, which is an accredited land consultant designation, which requires additional education as far as that goes, specializing in property, land, investment.
Thank you. Virgil, let's talk a little bit about COVID and the impact on housing and on land and agriculture.
You know, as far as the agriculture goes, it really didn't affect it a lot. Housing was the biggest effect as far as that goes, just because it limited our ability to show. But with technology now, Matterport, 3D viewings, a person can do most of all of your viewing online and then narrow it down to 2 to 3 homes, get with your realtor that you're working with, and go do a live walkthrough. So we try to make it as safe as possible for everybody that's buying and selling, limit contact, and it's all up to the individual as far as their comfort level. Most people in rural America are blessed because we don't have the population that we have to deal with like New York, where they're stacked on top of each other. And they had a heck of a time with the outbreak, and as far as exposure goes, it was just really difficult for them to work through it without having contact with everybody.
Did you see a decline on people interested in buying homes and land?
So during the last 8 weeks to 12 weeks, we did see a slight decrease as far as new listings, and it's kind of made a hole in the market. So right now there is a huge dent, and this is truly a seller's market as far as that goes. So anybody that's interested in selling, this is an excellent time to list a property, just for the simple reason we've got a ton of buyers out there. Matter of fact, this is an 11-year high for mortgage applications. So that just came out this morning. So according to the National Association of Realtors, this is an 11-year high as far as applications for loans.
Wow. Well, that is, it's good for our economy.
It is.
Now, let's talk a little bit about housing, because yes, even though there is, a lot of buyers interested in buying
Mm-hmm.
homes, there's also a need for homes to.
There is. So we've got a huge shortage of homes in Garden City, Finney County. Haskell County is not quite as bad, but Finney County, and I think it's going to get worse because we're seeing a lot of folks that lived in Denver, Wichita, some of the major metropolitan areas. They want out. They don't want to be living in those major metropolitan areas anymore, just because of the personal contact with everybody. They want to be in rural America rather than, the suburbs and metropolitan areas.
Now, Virgil, you mentioned that a lot of the contact that you have with buyers now
Mm-hmm.
is done online.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that around this part of Kansas, there
Mm-hmm.
are spots where connection's kind of hard.
Right.
What other services are available to those that maybe are not as proficient as using
Mm-hmm.
online tools, or they don't have any way to log in online?
Right. We work with folks all the time in any age group, from first-time home buyers that are 18, 19 years old, college grads, up to folks that are in their 80s and 90s. And it's really surprising. There's a lot of folks that we deal with in their 80s and 90s just buying their first home because they had rented their entire life, and they're just now to the point to where they want to get out of the city where they work the majority of their career, and they want to buy a home. But we do mail, fax, snail mail still works as far as that goes. So we can go ahead and get in contact, or they can get in contact with us via phone, or if they wanted to, just stop by our office in Garden City and visit with us there, and then we could walk through all of the properties that are available at that time. Home loans, as far as the first-time home buyer, that's changed just a little bit. They actually raised the credit score for rural development loans and FHA loans, so that makes it a little bit tougher. The main thing that I would recommend is everybody take care of their credit, especially if you're considering buying a home.
Are there other services that are available to those first-time home buyers?
Rural development is a really good way to get in as far as folks that don't even have credit, that have an established credit. The rural development is a very good option as far as that goes. It's a little bit more complicated and lengthy process, where a conventional loan is about 40 to 45 days to close. Most rural development loans would be more like 60 days in order to close.
And so what would you suggest those first-time home buyers to do before going to a realtor? Or is the realtor the first choice that they should kind of go and consult with?
I would definitely recommend going and talking to a banker that they deal with on a regular basis, and then fill out an application, find out what they qualify for, if their credit score is, elevated enough in order to apply for the loan and meet the requirements of the loan. And he could make, or she could make, the best recommendations as far as the loan's concerned, because whenever they go to start talking to the realtor, if they have that pre-approval letter in hand, it's going to make the process much simpler. And whenever they go to make an offer on a home and they have a pre-approval letter and the other buyer does not, the buyer's going to look much harder at the party that has the pre-approval letter.
So just very quickly, so once a family gets approved and then they contact a realtor, are there any other things that they need to have in hand in order to purchase their first home?
Whenever they first come in to talk to the realtor, they need to have a good idea as far as neighborhood goes, where they want to live, what requirements they need in that home. Do they need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-bedroom, 1-bath? What they are actually qualified for as far as the loan is concerned. Some type of cash, because whenever you first buy a home, you're going to have a little bit of money in order to set up utilities. You're going to have additional expenses for insurance. Lots of times you can roll the insurance into the home loan, so that's not a big deal, but definitely money to set up utilities.
Now, you mentioned that Rocky X also does land and agriculture. How was that affected, or how can buyers buy land or decide to maybe do an agriculture business?
Right. So there's all kinds of options out there for agriculture, especially first-time farmers. Actually, the loan limits went up to 1.2, a little bit over 1.2 million, almost 1.3 million for land acquisition, and another 300 and some odd thousand as far as equipment acquisition. So the best bet, again, would be go get pre-qualified, talk to the banker, see what you do qualify for, and then in order to start the loan process with the FSA office, you will need a written contract in order to do that. Auctions are really a tough thing for first-time farmers to buy land. They did change the regulations through the FSA program, so a family member or somebody that's trusted in the family, or an outside party, say a farmer's been, in employment, a young farmer's been in employment with a farmer for several years, and the elder farmer wants to help him out, the elder farmer could actually buy the property and then resell it back to the junior farmer with the FSA loan, if that's the situation that would come about.
Wow, so there are a lot of different services for them as well.
There are.
Opportunities, right?
Yep.
Well, Virgil, is there anything else that you would like to share with the public today? I think we're going through a tough time right now. Business is still good. There's plenty of buyers out there. There are sellers out there. They're changing, family. They're getting older. Maybe they don't have family that are coming back to the farm. Housing, if it's a larger family
and then all the kids have left home and they need to downsize, that's another opportunity. There's just a ton of different opportunities to meet the needs of the individual right now. And with lower interest, we're looking probably at 3% interest for a long time. I would say at least 7 years. So this is a golden opportunity to buy property, whether it be agriculture, commercial, or residential.
Well, thank you for being here today and for sharing this important information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is Giovanni, and we'll be back with Comunidades. Thank you for listening to us today. If you have any questions or would like to be one of our guests, please email us at kansasSpanishNewsNetwork23@gmail.com or give us a call at 620-260-0945.